Okay, you want to try it again?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to give that another try. Hopefully that will work.
There we go. Sorry.
Okay, we're going to give that another try. Hopefully that will work. I think the problem was I plugged in the wrong capture card to begin with, and the computer recognized that. But
Keith says, I hear ya.
cool. Thanks, Keith. And the lady that was in the background is Valerie. She's my girlfriend. She reads the comments to me, so I can actually interact because I can't see the screen from over here. This van, since no one could hear me earlier, this van I picked up to build into a camper van to go camping in Colorado, and I paid $1,000 for it. It's already got a 4-inch lift kit. The tranny was bad. They blew the line out, drove it with no fluid. The tranny locked up something inside. I had forward gears no matter what gear you were in. So junkyard tranny, got it up and running. Rear end super noisy. So we're going to rebuild that tonight, get it one step closer to taking it up in the mountains. And let me know if I need to move that closer.
Here comes the stink fluid.
Is that Keith?
Yeah.
Did you ever figure out that Lexus, Keith? I didn't see anything posted in the group.
Can you grab you some?
No, here's some. We ran out.
Oh.
So we have white rags.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah. Our uniform company ran out of rags, so we got undyed rags, and we had some more laid there. I don't see any major metallics coming out of it, but it's possible that they just changed the fluid or something. I'm going to flip around to the other side here and zip that drive line off.
Keith says, negative. It was pouring all day and no bays. And he said, aw, puppy. Got a walk by.
Yeah, she doesn't get to hang out here often. Normally just at night when I'm down here working late. Our insurance doesn't allow guard dogs or anything on the premises during business hours, so we have to keep her out of here during then. Let's see. I'm hoping this differential pin bolt doesn't break off. That would be my luck. So, were you serious about the creating the new channel for metal detecting? I kind of browsed through, but I didn't see any uploads from you yet.
Says, how's the magnet look?
Not sure if you guys can see that. There's a few bigger chunks, but nothing that looks like it just grenaded the bearings or anything. But since I just bought it, who knows? They may have put new fluid in it trying to fix the noise.
He says, yep, the channel is made. Videos will be up soon.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of big areas that we can metal detect in where there used to be populations of people. Everything that we have around here is pretty populated, or has been buried over numerous times. Don't be broken. Okay, good, it's not broken. I hate getting those out of there when they're broken.
How do you get them out if they're broken? That's me asking.
You try to get they're normally broken off down here past the threads, and they'll be broken in the pin, and you use a small magnet and you kind of wiggle it in there and try to get it to wiggle out. They make a kit, I think, that you can maybe weld to it. Normally we get them out, it just takes a little while.
Yeah.
So with the pin out, I can slap these axles inward and pull the C-clips. Do need a magnet for that. This van does not have a limited slip. If we end up using it a lot, it'll probably get a limited slip just because most of the places we go camping are off-road.
He asks, how far from Boulder are you?
About 2.5 hours. We are 2 hours south of Denver. There's a little bit of pitting on the axle, but nothing too bad. There's no grooves or anything. And this one looks good. I did get new bearings. I did not buy repair bearings because I don't care for repair bearings much. So if I have to go that route, then I'll just put new axles in. So that tells me, since the bearings aren't excessively pitted, that most of the noise is going to be in here, which I assumed because it changes on acceleration and deceleration.
Now, when you say the sound, are you talking about that sound that was blowing out our eardrums, or a different sound?
That sound.
Oh.
So the rear end is so noisy that anything over 30 miles an hour, you can't really have a conversation in the vehicle. Zip this carrier out, and then we'll pull the pinion. There's no markings on that, so let me mark that real quick.
He says, I stayed in Evergreen, somewhere on the outskirts of Denver, for about 8 months, many moons ago.
My brother Pete lived there for a little bit.
It's a really good mic you have. It picked you up perfectly from over there.
I don't know if I've been to Evergreen. I've probably been through it. I haven't stayed there. I don't know if he still lives there or not. One of my brothers lived there for a while. He may still live there. And then on these caps, I just use a center punch, and I'll just put one punch mark on the left towards the outside of the cap. And then I'll do a double punch on the right. You probably don't need punch marks on both sides, but in case you can't see one after you get it all torn apart, they're there.
Says it was a nice area, but no work to be found when you're a kid without a car.
Well, I can imagine. You need a car for most places in Colorado. Luckily, the town I live in, I've got 5 acres of land, but I still live maybe 3 miles from work. And there's one stop sign between me and home. I can't imagine because I lived in Denver for a little while and commuted to Boulder, but that was not for automotive. I went to school for audio engineering. I thought it would be really cool to record bands. And after I went to college for that, I realized there was no money in that. Dropping my spider gears. So there wasn't a whole lot of preload on these bearings. I expected it to be harder to pull out than that.
I've never seen the inside of one of those. This is me talking my comment. I didn't think it would be so technical for just to spin your wheels.
Uh-huh.
I did not expect that at all.
And this is a simple version.
Gee.
I don't know, can you even see it on the camera?
Barely.
Can you hear that? That's probably most of the noise. And there's quite a bit of slop in that pinion as well, which is probably causing the noise on acceleration, deceleration, the gear whine. So,
sorry, I didn't mean to laugh.
huh?
He said, "Wait a sec, audio engineer, and we had no sound." I was thinking the same thing, but I didn't want to be the one to say it. Val, do you know what gear reduction is? Yes, it's when you reduce your gears. Next question. No, I don't.
The engine's spinning really fast and your wheels aren't spinning that fast.
Uh-huh.
So they use that small gear inside of there.
Uh-huh.
And dual purpose, it turns this spinning rotation into this spinning rotation, and it reduces the speed of the wheels.
That face I was making while you explained that, that's why you can't have a GoPro on your head when you do this.
So originally, just to complicate things even more, I was going to have a point of view camera and that camera. But my cabling didn't show up from Amazon, so no go on that. Take this pinion nut out. And my workbench is a disaster. I'll have to move some stuff when we transfer this over. This will be the second differential build today. The first one was on my dad's T100 Toyota, and once we got it apart, the rear axle housing was crushed down where the leaf springs are and broken and leaking really bad. So we had to go pull another one from another vehicle he has. So that was a most of the day project. Where is my air hammer?
He said, if the wheels moved as fast as the engine, you would be doing burnouts endlessly. How do you know we don't do burnouts endlessly?
We don't have enough power for that in Colorado, Keith. Let's see. Got some pitting there. And I don't know what gear ratio this has, if anyone's changed the gears in the past. I kind of doubt it. But then again, they did lift a Chevy Astro van, so it's possible that they did that. And this rear end smells a lot like the GM supercharger oil. I don't know if you've ever smelt that, Keith. I think we got it from GM one time and it said something about being whale oil. I have no idea. I'm surprised that's even legal to sell. Let me clear a spot off my bench.
Did you just say whale oil?
Yeah.
Like whale? Oh, now I smell something. I didn't smell it until just now, and it might have been coming off of you.
Yeah, 90 weight doesn't smell all that great.
Would you like a closer view level audio?
I'll reposition the camera as soon as I get on the bench.
He says 6 people. Someone else say hello. And then he says, would anyone like a closer view?
Let me reposition my workbench here.
Uh-oh. It says stank fluid. He's gonna smell like that for a day. What, is that just how it smells, or is that because it's old and needs fixed?
That's...
Does it have to smell like that?
Oh, it has to smell like that. They just all, most of them smell like that. Now, the ones I really like are the GMs that have the, I think it's GM, that has the purple fluid. It smells like grapes. I don't know if it's actually purple, but you open it up and it smells just like grapes. Okay, I'm gonna reposition the camera down here.
That's nice that you have a Zoom. I record on my phone, so I don't have that option.
Valerie here has a YouTube channel as well. I think you left a comment over there, Keith. Thanks for watching that. I don't think I've seen that one yet.
I tried to make you watch it and you weren't paying attention.
That's Keith's fault.
It was my Dollar Tree haul.
In all fairness, last night when I was looking at service manual information for Alexis, she was trying to get me to watch her video, and I didn't pay enough attention to it. So if you guys have built rear ends before, you may not have seen this tool. This is from Yukon Gear and Axle. It's it makes it really easy. The Toyota I was doing, I had to shim the side bearings a few times, so I didn't use this because this normally tears them up. But it's a very fast way of getting stuck bearings off. And my socket. I think this tool is like $700, but we use it a lot. These clamshells go on here and capture the bearing. That goes on there to lock everything together. That's what happens when it catches the cage and not the not the inner race.
So that wasn't supposed to happen?
No, it wasn't supposed to happen that way. But it does happen that way occasionally when I'm not paying attention. So unfortunately, I'm used to using this on Toyotas that have bigger bearings. So we can use this on the pinion, because that's normally the worst one anyways. And hopefully it works on that. This is a terrible demonstration of how this tool works.
Well, for me watching, everything's going awesome because I don't know how it's supposed to go.
That was really exciting.
It was cool.
It's like fireworks. Yeah, actually we were just talking about that earlier. The bearings on a Toyota are huge compared to many vehicles out there. I mean, I don't know what the Chevy 4.3 has for horsepower, around 200, maybe 250. But the Toyota that I took apart, the bearings were about twice the size of these, and it's rated for 190. That's how that's supposed to work.
So is there a way to take that apart without this tool?
There is, which I'll have to do the side bearings that way since this is too big for that.
Mm-hmm. Does it just take it longer?
There's several methods you can use. One is there's a piece similar to this, but it's adjustable, and you get it down in there and then you take it over to the press. And you can press them off that way. You can take a cutoff wheel and cut through this most of the way and then hit it with the chisel and split it. Or we can do the method that I'm about to do, which works on everything but the pinion, but it works on these side bearings.
That would kind of be a neat series. Like doing things the hard way, like the cheap mechanic.
Yeah. Like, a lot of people do videos like that.
Yeah.
Just because most of the time the viewers don't have all the tools that I have.
Right.
But for me, it's difficult to grab a smaller puck because I also have to get work done, like during the day when I normally film.
Yeah. Oh, no, I meant like after hours, like right now. After hours videos. Or we could have contests. I use the fancy tools, and you have to do it like by hand, the slow way.
I got a feeling I would still beat you.
Hey, I learn a lot from the practical mechanic.
So we were doing some yard work earlier, and Valerie's never operated a chainsaw before. We decided to give it a try. And you cut through a couple branches.
Yeah, they're about the size of half my wrist.
But it was a little too scary. I mean, I wasn't worried.
I was scared to cut through my foot.
Okay, hopefully this one will work. I don't like this one as much because it's really tall and it's kind of wobbly. But it's already out from using it on the Toyota. So what we're doing here is we're grabbing the sides of the inner race to that bearing. And then I just have a plate on top of the carrier. And hopefully that'll come off easy. If not, then I'll have to get a different puller.
So how much was that tool?
Since it's snap-on a lot, it's probably still several $100s.
No.
Yeah, it ain't gonna work.
So how much is like an entry level of that tool?
That's what I'm gonna grab next. It's similar to this, but it's by OTC.
How come you have to get that one?
Because this one's not gonna work. It's too flimsy and wobbly.
Spilling the tea.
Spilling the tea.
It says
I don't understand the reference.
$5 on Val. I'll explain it to you in a second. Say hello, people. You're creeping me out. And then Cody's Auto Diagnostics. LOL. Hello, Keith. And then Keith says, I hate that puller.
Hate that what?
Puller?
I grabbed the wrong one.
Your mom, she says, hello, just figured out how to comment. LOL, feeling old.
Okay, this one here, this is probably less than a couple $100 for the whole kit. But this isn't as convenient as the snap-on puller board because you have to fully assemble and disassemble this to put it back in the box.
I was just going to make a joke saying, yeah, you have to assemble it. You do have to assemble it.
You do.
But how much money did you save?
Probably quite a bit because I think the complete puller board from Snap-on is around $4,000. And the equivalent with like an OTC setup is probably less than $500 for everything. But you have to take it all apart to put it back in the box and put it away.
Can't you just buy a box and put it
I mean, you could leave it. You could leave it assembled, but then you don't have the rest of the kit that goes with it.
Oh.
Like it would take up too much space. Fully assembled. I don't know. My dad just bought a second one, the Snap-on puller board, because one of our employees was never going to use it, so he got rid of it since we have a shop one here. So So one of these days I might pick that one up for myself. So this one, since it's a lot shorter, is probably not gonna wobble like that. And of course it's a different size socket.
Keith says, okay, best behavior, everyone.
Because my mom's watching?
Yeah. Cody commented, how many different rebuild, or not different, how many diff? Is that different than different? Like a
differential.
Okay, that's what I thought. Sorry, I'm not a car person. How many diff rebuilds do you do a year, Chad?
It varies. I don't do all of them in our shop. I do quite a few of them. I do probably half a dozen.
That's smoking?
Yeah, I need to tighten it down a little more.
Your mom says that's what you think.
That everyone has to be on their best behavior or what? Yeah, I figured I'd try these late night live streams whenever I'm down here working. I'm normally not down here this late, but we have summer is approaching. So we want to get this van done. We're also busy at work, so a couple days ago I was pulling an engine apart. Get that there, tighten this up a little more. This thing is a little more stubborn than I'm used to. Most of the ones I do are Toyotas.
Keith says, is this a Yukon rebuild kit?
Unfortunately, no. You probably saw. Here's paperwork here. That's from the Toyota I did earlier. This is kind of a last minute deal, and we forgot to order the kit that I needed. So this was an AutoZone kit that I'm going to be putting in. If we end up keeping the van, it's probably going to get either a locker in the rear end or a posi-track unit. So I wasn't too concerned with using a cheap set. What I really hope is that the set that they sold me is the right set. And now we get to do that again on this side.
Your mom was referring to buying your dad's tools.
Oh. No, I tried mentioning it once, and he didn't seem too keen to sell it to me. Which doesn't make sense. He has two of them. And the other one's it's brand new. Everything's still in the display case. But I suppose since everybody uses his kit, there's quite a few missing pieces, and it'd probably be more expensive to fully furnish his kit than it would be to just put that old kit away and bring out the new kit.
Cody asked, is summer your busiest time of the year?
Pretty much. We right now we're booking our shops about a week out. In the summertime, we'll be 2.5 weeks out. Now, when we get that busy, we also have a lot of no-shows, which sucks, but we have enough work waiting here for us, so we don't worry about it too much. So when are you going to come visit Colorado Springs again? I think you mentioned last time that's where you grew up, to Cody. I don't know about Arizona. I lived there for a while too, but...
That's what Keith just commented. Arizona. Val, do you have AAA? No? Did I miss a comment though?
We are going to Arizona a couple weeks.
Where's it at? I told my mom and I was like, I'm going to Arizona in a few weeks, but I don't remember where.
We don't know what we're driving yet. I don't know if I'm going to trust this to go that far, but we're going to be heading to Flagstaff the third weekend, I think, of May. Huh.
You need to find a new comment, reader. He put, "Oh my, AC was AutoZone abbreviation."
That's why that didn't make any sense at all. Yeah, I called our CarQuest store. They said that they quit selling their bearing kits because they must have a lot of issues with them, and they would have had to order them from Randy's Ring and Pinion, which is who we order a lot of stuff through. We have an account with them, but I waited too long. Actually, my assistant service writer forgot to order the stuff yesterday, and we called AutoZone. So let's see what brand these are. They even have a brand name? No, they just say China. They don't even have a brand name on them. So I know that we're only installing the most premium product here.
Cody said, "Wanting to try to come back this winter."
But Arizona's nicer in the winter than Colorado. I lived in Phoenix when I was in school for audio engineering. I guess you weren't here for that part, Cody. Keith was questioning my ability because I went to school for audio engineering and my initial stream had no audio. But Colorado's okay in the winter. Where we live, which is not too far from Colorado Springs, we don't get near the weather that they do. But it snowed like 4 times this year, maybe.
Not very much.
So 4 or 5 times a year we get snow, and then it's gone in like a day. So we have, that's not right. That guy there. We have very mild winters. But we have huge temperature swings too. Like we were down in the 30s like a week ago, and a couple days later we were almost 80 degrees. So I don't know how you guys normally build these. Some people press them together. For this part I normally just grab a big hammer. If I can find what I did with my hammer. And I'm pressing on the inner portion of the race, not on the cage. But since that, I better not risk it. Where is my other piece?
Okay, got a few comments.
Okay,
You can hammer. Are you done hammering?
go for
I'll
it.
let you hammer.
Okay.
Keith says Randy is the best.
Randy's Ring and Pinion.
What? That sounded like ring and ding ding ding.
Randy's Ring and Pinion.
What's that?
That's the this is the ring,
Oh,
and this is the pinion.
I thought it was somebody at AutoZone.
I don't think we have a Randy at our AutoZone.
I'm never gonna assume anything while reading your comments. Okay. Cody said Flagstaff is nice and cool up there. Tucson is
Tucson.
It's already 100 degrees.
Yeah, Tucson. I don't know how you guys can handle that. The last event that not the last, but Overland Expo is what we're going to. It's an off-road and four-wheel drive event. And it's in Flagstaff the last 5 or 6 years, but the first one we ever went to, I'll have to do the math, my brother was 15. It was in Tucson, south of Tucson. And it was so far south that the speedometer sign switched to kilometers. And I'm using my fingers for padding in there.
Yeah, I was watching you get pretty close there. Cody laughed that you didn't have audio for your first stream. Keith asks, eye protection?
I'm wearing it.
Cody says, eye protection is a suggestion.
That's what my glasses are for.
Your brother, I got distracted with your video and just mounted a tire I was unmounting.
I didn't realize he was next door. My brother also works with me. I guess he can't even see me talk, can they?
Sometimes you bend your head down and we can see you.
My brother works with us as well, and he's actually at our satellite location, which is a couple buildings over, mounting and dismounting tires. Actually, mounting and remounting and dismounting the same tire.
And Chase also says 9 to 10 years.
Have the right size. So I don't like to do it, but sometimes I'll put the race on there and press it in the press. But I should have the correct barrel size here. That guy close. That might work. Remember, is that a 4?
You could do an ASMR with those. It actually sounds kind of cool in my headphones.
With the noise?
With all that clinking. Not the hammering, the clinking.
Almost there.
Chase said, figured I'd watch your video so I knew if you left me, since I have no keys. And Overland was 9 to 10 years ago, I believe.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, I forgot that he sent me a message saying to bring the keys to the truck back over there. That one's fully seated. I hate when they do that. Flip this over again. The carrier sticks out past the bearing. Now, I didn't pay a lot of attention to see if the original one did that. I hope that it's the same, because otherwise it's going to be a pain to shim it. So that fits that. We'll set this aside for now and work on the pinion.
Cody said, that's like 5 miles out of town. They switched to kilometers. McDonald's on the south side has their menus in Spanish only.
Yeah, it was down there. And that was in April that we went. And I'm pretty sure it was getting close to 100 degrees.
Keith commented 3 fire emojis and 5 hammer emojis. I don't know how you want me to read that to you.
Are those sparks flying into my eyes? No, eye protection's, it's really inconvenient when you're wearing glasses.
Do glasses really not count as like actual eye protection?
These ones don't, because they don't, all this area here, stuff can still go in. Last time I went and got glasses, I went to the eye doctor and said, let me see your safety glasses. And they were all crazy hideous. Did you hear that? Mm-hmm. It sounded like a car door opening.
Or brakes screeching. Oh yeah.
It's probably the cops getting ready to bust in here, see who's working. That'll be entertaining if it is. Okay, pinion. I always just leave the original shim on the pinion. That's the best starting point. Even if I'm changing gears, I'll transfer that one over. But hopefully, if these bearings aren't complete garbage, they will fit decent, and we won't have to shim anything. That's what I'm really hoping for.
Keith Keith says, nah, just heat those bearings a tad before you beat them.
Oh.
And Cody said, hot plate. Keith, yep.
I don't have a hot plate here. Now, earlier when I did it, I don't have the right size for that either. What is this? And GM stuff just doesn't fly for me. Well, we're going to go the incorrect method and press this together. I'll use the old erase first. Let me knock it out of there, and we'll go over to the press it together. People say that'll put flat spots in the bearings, but I don't know. I've never had an issue with it. So I'm going to make a little bit of noise again. Actually, I had a hot plate. I can't remember where I got it, and I was hoping it'd work for here, but it just didn't. So I probably need to find another one. Where's my air hammer?
Cody asks, out of sight warranty with AutoZone?
Out of sight. I don't know. We don't buy a lot from AutoZone. But they do. Anytime we've had an issue with them, they are okay on the warranty. I'll have you move because this might fly out at you.
Your mom said we should have a pipe that fits.
Yeah, but it'll be really long. Then I have to cut it down.
Where should I stand? Am I okay over here?
Yeah. Let's see here.
Also, just so you know, you're still zoomed in on the table.
Oh. You can reposition that if you want.
Do I just zoom it out?
Yeah. Sorry guys, I was getting the bearing out of the differential housing and I forgot that the camera...
How do I zoom it? Oh, there we
The
go.
other ring.
Oh, whoops, sorry.
Technical difficulties.
There we go. What the heck?
We're going to swivel you guys around here.
You're real zoomed in on the table, just so you know.
I'll be working over there for a second.
Wait. Oh, that's where your table is.
That's what happens when Valerie operates the
Sorry about that.
camera. So I do have a bunch of pipes in different sizes that would probably fit this, but they're all really long. So I will press this together. As soon as I find out where my dad put all the stuff.
Sorry, that was my fault.
Okay. Flip it around again.
You want me to? I can. I can try. Sorry.
Oh, now everything's gonna be covered in gear oil. So, I don't know. Technically, you're not supposed to do it that way. Did Keith make a cringing face?
He commented, ah! Your mom. I thought you were going to air hammer the new bearings on. Keith, whoa, that was dizzying. Keith, I'm thinking mom isn't the one chatting. Thinking face. Your mom. That's right, it's dad. Chase, LOL, my dad doesn't have his own Gmail account.
So that was a lot of information all at once. Now, where is my bearing driver set? Now I think I saw Cody, if he's still watching, I think he did a video on this tool. This is from Snap-on. They just came out with the aluminum version, but I don't have that one yet. I do have an aluminum one, but it's not nearly as nice to use as this guy. Let me knock that other race out of there first and I'll pound that in.
Do I need to move again?
No. We're gonna go the other direction. Okay. Now I can't believe how late some of you guys stay up. Corey joined us for the last one. Now we left our shop at 11 o'clock. Was it 1 over there? I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was at work. He said New York Transit, so I don't know if he was in transit or if he was at work working on transit buses or something. But he came in for the last time and stuck around for a while. But you guys stay up a lot later than I can stay up. Disappear behind this for a second.
Do I need to move?
Huh?
Am I okay right here?
Yeah.
Keith says, Corey works as many hours as me.
Are you working right now? I mean, I'm working late, but that's because I'm working on my own stuff. Okie dokie. New crush sleeve. Let's see.
Keith says, about 18 hours a day average.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I get too tired. I've worked late nights 3 times this week, and I'm exhausted. Keep misplacing my stuff. If I clean my workbench off, it's probably staring me in the face.
But you never know, you might need that piece of wood or that sponge.
I used this piece of wood earlier.
In this video?
No, not in this video. Oh, there's a new one. I thought it was the old one.
Keith said, I finished early because of the rain.
Now, do you only do mobile diag for shops, or do you do it for individuals as well? I know it seems like Ivan does it mostly just for individuals. And I don't know if Ivan, does he have another job, or does he just do mobile diag?
Is it a horn?
I don't know.
It's like a musical horn.
Yeah.
Huh.
One sec. You making fun of me?
No, he put diag for shops only. And I was just laughing because he spelled only wrong the first time. But I appreciate him fixing his error because I would have tried to pronunciate that thinking it was a car word. He said Ivan is an engineer for his full-time job.
That explains a lot because Ivan seems very intelligent and he doesn't work on just automotive stuff. I think he's got videos working on his AC unit on his house, and I don't know. I work on electronic stuff sometimes, but I don't care to. Just putting some assembly lube on that, and then I'll install it into the housing.
Ivan is truly a genius, Mensa type genius. He comes from a family of geniuses.
You know, the other thing that amazes me is how many of you guys are on the East Coast. When I first started doing YouTube, I kind of looked around trying to find other YouTubers in Colorado to work with and talk to. And I kind of came up empty on the whole search. So I didn't pursue it for a long time, just for a little bit. Now, Brian G. Johnson, the guy you posted a video of earlier this week, he lives in Colorado Springs somewhere. You can see Pikes Peak from his house, so that's the only reason I know that. But I have not talked to him outside of YouTube. Now, did you actually do like hands-on mechanical repairs before you started doing diagnostic work? Because I know you said in the past that you don't like to get your hands dirty anymore. I don't know if that means that you used to get your hands dirty. It seems like most of what we do here is dirty work.
Sadly, yes.
Yeah, seems like everyone starts in the trenches doing oil changes or mechanical repair. Do you teach at all?
This is Mom. I tried and couldn't get Dad's phone to let him comment. We have to say goodnight. Love ya.
Okay, good night. It's way past your bedtime too.
Yeah?
Yeah, it is.
10:45.
Like, you guys are normally out by like 9. Let's see. This socket here.
Keith says, I was a teacher for 6 years. He says, night, Mom. Give Dad a hug.
Did you quit teaching because you didn't like it, or the pay wasn't as good? Oh man, that crushed sleeve is stout.
That face you make while doing that, it's like you're shooting a machine gun.
No, it's just jolting forces through my body. Now we gotta wait for the compressor to shut off. What more do I have? We're almost there. I'll wait for the compressor to shut off so it's a little, I guess I can make noise while that's making noise.
Says, raising 3 kids, teaching didn't pay enough to do as much work as I was.
Yeah. Okay, that feels good. I had someone comment in one of my videos about me not actually measuring the inch pounds of preload on the bearings. I don't know. I've done a lot of them and just done them by feel. Now, when I did my dad's 2100 earlier, I did use the inch-pound torque wrench just because I built that rear end like 5 or 6 years ago, and the bearings started to chew up. Also, the spider gears were going bad, so I think a lot of that metal kind of went through it. So just to make sure I didn't screw it up the first time, I actually got out all the right tools and checked it. But normally I just kind of go by feel. Carrier. We recently had I'll wait for that to go off so I don't have to yell. I'll finish assembling this stuff. Huh?
Is that super glue?
Super glue. We're gonna glue it together. Spider gears falling out again.
He's asked, Chase, growing up, did he check his inches and pounds often?
Nope. And now you can meet him in the flesh. Chase, come say hello to the camera.
I did, in comments. You didn't hear me honking over there?
Was that you?
No.
Oh. We heard the honking.
Yeah, I did too. I figured the loud noises you made might have been me.
Okay.
Oh, did you get your stickers removed?
I got most of them out.
It's making a lot of noise.
And hopefully this will slide in like it came out.
Where'd you put the shop key?
It's on the counter. Stay there. Okay, now that that's the noise is gone.
You were making a video.
I was earlier on accident.
Back when I had no audio.
Oh.
Forgot what I was gonna say. Never mind. Oh, now it falls in. So Keith, did you teach just diagnostics, or was it like just all general repair, everything? That's probably not enough preload. And that's too much backlash. So let me zoom you guys in here while I work on the...
Do you want me to zoom you in?
No, I'll grab it.
Well, I could have done that.
I'll move it a little bit closer. Sorry for the wobbling around here, guys.
Check his inches and pounds. Is that to me?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Go on camera and answer.
Do you mean like torque?
You're not on camera.
Oh. Well, what do you mean by did he check his inches and pounds often?
I said I normally don't check it.
Oh.
Oh, there we go.
I'm zoomed in like right in this
No.
area.
Oh.
So your head's taking up the whole thing.
Pumpkin.
It's not hard for us to take up the whole area with our heads. So the backlash is excessive. I'm gonna flip-flop the shims just to see. I guess I could mic them, but I need to move the whole carrier that way. Plus, the preload wasn't very much. Once I got it in there straight, it just kind of dropped right in.
Keith said, I had to teach everything at first. After 2 years, I was able to pick and choose. And then I'm uncomfortable reading the next one with Chase in the room. It's right there.
Oh. We use the metric system around here. The numbers seem to always be a little bit bigger when you use the metric system.
Greater.
Greater? The numbers are greater? Yeah, I don't know. So, all of our measuring tapes at home were in millimeters.
I'll be back on that note.
Okay, dropping this out. Come on, move stuff here.
Sorry.
Oh, man.
Good, not just me then.
I think that's a global thing. That's one of the few things that that people do measure in metric. Let's see, calipers. $246. Where's my other shim? $235. So unfortunately, the larger bearing was on the left side, so that's not going to help us. The bearing kit I bought didn't come with shims, so luckily I have a large selection. I'm hoping that some of these that were from my T100 will fit this. So I mentioned in the group the other day about the high school letting me use their demonstration boards, and I was talking to Corey the other day in here. The can you see me, or am I like super zoomed in?
I see you.
Okay. Our local high school auto shop got picked up by the
Oh, stop.
college, so they've really made some advances in the program, which is good because it was kind of lacking before. When I took it in high school, it was all right, but the teacher spent a lot of his time building his own personal cars. So we would do learning in the classroom for a little bit, and then we'd go out and do shop work. He would show us what to do, and then a lot of times he would go work on his own car. And I would say that was probably at least 3 days a week that we were kind of on our own. So not the best environment for learning, especially, I guess cars may not have been as complicated then. I mean, that was shit, almost 15 years ago. Doesn't seem like it's been that long since high school, but it has. But now, man, it's incredible what the school has going for them. So I'm kind of excited to get over there. The teacher's going to get me all of the teacher curriculum for the modules that they have, and I can go through that and create some tutorials.
You got a thumbs up from somebody, but I'm not sure if you know them or if they're through. Their name is IKIAKU770. I don't know how to pronounce that, so I didn't know if they're in your...
I don't recognize the Google name or the YouTube name.
Okay, I was just checking in. Maybe it was someone in your group. Keith says, test boards are a good starting place for sure. And Cody said, Chad, do you know Dixie Wrecked?
What'd you say?
Did I read it wrong again? I don't know. I'm just going to start spelling stuff out.
Oh man, these guys are gonna start trolling you.
R-E-C-T. Wrecked. What? What is it?
Oh man.
Say it.
That's like alcoholic.
What?
Say it again.
Don't say it in my head.
Oh, you guys are
I don't
mean.
get it. I'm blocking everybody in the chat.
What's the name again? I can't say it's my YouTube channel.
But it's streaming on you, and I'm the one saying whatever it is. Use it.
Dixie Reed? Is that how you pronounce it? RBC?
You guys suck.
Split the first name in half there.
See? What do you mean?
Dix Erect.
Oh.
Oh, you guys are mean.
No, he has no idea who that is.
Not. Oh man. You what?
I don't get the question.
Yeah, we don't know him around here either. We don't know her? I don't know. Why you would say that. So Cody, you were in San Diego a while back. Was that just a vacation? Or were you out there for work or YouTube? Did you block them?
No, but I said I would. Keith said, sorry, Val, it was all me. Cody is innocent. Have you heard that one before, or could you just hear it when
Just
you
the
said
way
it?
you said it. Okay, that's a lot better. I just added like a 10,000 shim to the current shim pack on the left side of this carrier. And it feels like I have decent preload now. The backlash seems okay. I'll throw the bearing caps on and at least check the backlash and see what we're at. Oh man. You probably started it though because you were struggling to. You said you don't know the automotive terms that we use.
I don't know, maybe that's another guy that works at AutoZone?
Oh. Yep, Randy and Dixie. Oh.
I would have never got it.
What's that?
I would have never got it.
I would say that Valerie's too innocent, but we know that that's not the case for you. You've probably heard far worse. Oh, where's my...
Yeah, but I was still probably the person who didn't get it.
Someone had to explain it to you?
Yeah.
Are you gonna paint test the gears?
I might. I have it on the bench here. Since I don't know if these are the factory gears, I don't know if they set them up correctly before.
I'm glad your mom and dad weren't here for that.
They were waiting for them to go to sleep. What's funny is my Toyota 4Runner video where I put some new bearings on. I had people comment why I didn't paint the gears. And I typically don't if I'm using all the same gears and I'm just changing bearings. But since, as you guys know, all of our viewers are YouTube certified, like me, they want to see that. And I didn't include it, and I probably should have, but from now on, I probably will. Just because it's something that's commonly shown in the videos and in pictures on the forums. So everyone expects to see it. But, go ahead.
And that's why you don't buy a mechanic's car.
Actually, when I called this guy, his voicemail said something like J&L Auto, but his transmission was out and he didn't want to fix it. But after seeing the shoddiness on everything else so far, it wouldn't surprise me if this is pretty far out. A little deep there.
Can you explain to me what's happening? So I have no idea what you're doing.
So they have a predetermined pattern that when the pinion contacts the ring gear, where it's the strongest and the quietest.
Okay.
So when you look at the paint, if you have like a triangular shape coming from the outside in or from the inside out, it means that the pinion is too close to the gear or too far away from the gear. And if you have a nice oval patch right in the center of the teeth, then it's normally pretty good. Luckily, the bearings that I put in earlier, we use all the factory shims. And actually, we had to use a different carrier than the one I built last time because the spider gears were messed up. But we had another carrier, so we used it. Used all the factory shims, and everything went fine. Now, of course, this one doesn't look that great. I always have to look at the book. I don't do them often enough to remember the patterns. So it says my pinion is too close, but we're not that far off. I can show you guys if you want. Let me see if I can get a better pattern there. And that's what I hate about this, because I have to take the whole thing back apart again.
Oh no.
The entire thing.
Nope, looks good to me. Keith said, I would only test because they are unknown brand.
Oh, on the bearings? Yeah, that's true. We've had big issue with CarQuest bearings on Toyotas. Actually, Napa and CarQuest. The bearings, you have to add like a 1/4 inch shim to the pinion in order to get the contact patch even close.
I'm just gonna apologize now. I'm gonna make some noise real fast, so I'll put the wheels on my car.
He's gonna put the wheels on his car with a 1/4 inch impact.
So it won't be that much noise.
So let's see, on our coast we're good. The drive side is too close. I don't know, it's late. And it's off a little bit. Let me show you guys.
Measuring my inches and pounds.
I'm gonna grab the camera, so prepare to be wobbled around. Maybe. Okay. Let me zoom you guys in. Sorry for the wobbliness. My camera operator isn't working today.
Me or you?
Both of us. So I don't know if that's coming through or not. On the drive side here, it does look like the pinion's too close. See if I can get the coast side. The coast side looks a little too close, but it's not bad.
What happens if they're too close?
They can make noise, they can wear funny, they can get hot.
Will it still make that one noise that makes your head want to pop?
No, it won't make that noise.
And if you did retake everything out, everything, and you'd have to pound on it again with the hammer thing?
Yep.
So how come you just didn't do it better the first time?
Now they make install bearings, but you have to buy them specific for the vehicle. And they fit looser, so you don't have to press them on. They slide on, and then you can set everything up. Or I could have got it all set up and used a pinion depth gauge. Now, this isn't the right way to do it, but since it's already 11 o'clock our time, I'm going to let it run because if we like the van, it's getting a locker. So if it gets a locker, then it's probably getting lower gears as well. Keith's probably cringing right now.
Keith says, Chad hates me right now. He's not going to sleep well the night before the mountain trip.
I don't sleep well anyways. I mean, I sleep like a rock. Like when I fall asleep, I'm out, but I don't get a lot of sleep. And it's not a very restful sleep. Now, it'll be fine. And my guess would be that somebody has replaced these gears before.
Chevy.
Yeah. So that's probably why the pinion's too close. I know I should have got the good bearing kit.
How come you didn't?
Oh, it was a time thing. I need the van right now.
The fans couldn't wait.
That's not right. I gotta put the spider gears back in because I didn't put the cross pin back in and they all fell out. Okay, we're good there. I don't know if you're still watching, Cody, but do you rebuild differentials? Because as you can tell, I'm an expert at it. Because I know when it's wrong, but I'm still going to run it.
Keith said, you laughed about the AAA earlier. Winky face.
In all fairness, we don't know if we're taking this vehicle. We may take our Toyota Highlander because we know that it's reliable and it gets double the gas mileage of this. I still got to do side bearings. We'll lower this down. Move you guys one more time here. That probably won't be the last time. These are the complications of a live stream. There's no cuts.
Yeah, but you could have your crew move that stuff for you.
I'll probably get a notification tomorrow. Actually, I probably won't get a notification at all. I'll just go to Google Hangouts and I won't be in the group anymore. Keith will have removed me.
And then talk a bunch about you.
Yeah. They'll troll me. That guy's not a mechanic. Did you see what he did? I can see that happening. Dang it, Keith. I don't want to take that back apart.
Cody says, you got fancy tools to do the job. I don't do enough to invest a lot of money into the special tools you have. Maybe do 2 a year?
Mm.
And then Keith asked, wheel cylinders look good?
Yep. I didn't pull a boot back to look inside of there. But surprisingly, I don't know, maybe it's just because we don't have rust here. We rarely do wheel cylinders.
And then Cody says, he is running with it, Keith, and then this face.
I don't know. You guys might convince me to pull it back apart, but
Did you guys bleed gas brakes?
yeah, I gravity bled them. I don't know if you heard that. My brother just asked me if I bled my dad's brakes on his T100. And gravity bleeding was the method of choice for that one. That works on all Toyotas.
Especially right after you pressure wash.
Did you need that thing that's back there?
No, that's trash. So I tried using my fancy snap-on seal puller, and it's not working. So we're gonna try the fancy snap-on pry bar. This thing's just fighting me today. Let me find a chisel.
I should keep tallying how many times you pick that book up and put it back down.
I'm looking for tools underneath it.
Oh, I don't know why you were doing that. Keith said, pull it apart when you get the Yukon.
That's true, because we don't even know how well this is going to perform. This bearing kit was like $70. So it's probably not great. Okay, that should come out now.
Keith said, Astro vans fit a twin-size bed perfectly with rear seats removed, by the way.
Yeah, we haven't tried it yet. It still has all the interior in it. But if it works out, we'll probably build a whole van, camping van interior. Now I gotta grab the puller to get those bearings out. Now these things, they get kind of hammered. Luckily the Snap-on guy warranties these for us.
Cody said, gotta run, guys. Gotta get to work early tomorrow. Have a good night, everyone.
Oh, you have to work on Saturday? Must be a dealership. We don't work on Saturdays here.
Funny comment. Sorry.
On customer card.
Keith said, okay, Val. $70 bearing kit is like buying all your groceries from Dollar Tree.
Oh, I guess while you're here, Keith, I got a question for you. This is the Altel Maxisys. I don't know what version it is. The Snap-on guy got this on trade. He gave the guy $500. He said he would sell it to me for that. I don't know if it's worth that. It's updated to current level. It does not have the J2534 programming tool, but it does have the wireless interface and all the adapters.
That's a crazy tool.
Oh, this is a small one. I've got one like 3 times that size.
When you go like this, everyone run with it.
No, I have a crazy one.
But you don't. Gee.
If they're really stuck.
Is that like a 2-person one?
No, I do it solo. But the problem with this one is once the hub comes off the vehicle, it's really heavy to catch it.
Do you measure that in inches or pounds?
This is in kilograms, I think. Actually, I think that this section here is like a 12-pound weight, and that's a 3-pound weight.
And they said that they'll buy it from you for $500. Tell them your PayPal information.
What did they say?
Yeah. Sorry.
One more time?
Let me catch up.
Yeah, they're big.
Yeah.
They're bidding on. So is that a good deal?
Yeah, lucky I'm in an independent shop, open 6 days a week. That was Cody. Keith, hell yeah, worth 500 all day, every day.
Cool.
I'll buy it for 500 right now. Give me PayPal. Cody said, yep, worth it. I'll do 501, lol.
I think we booted it up. The software updates are good until June of 2019. The guy said it had 2 years of updates when he traded it in, but
The bid's up to 502.
I've never used the Autel or the launch scan tools. I just never had experience with them. We've always been a Snap-on shop. Which means we spend way too much money on tools. Now, are all of those scanners really slow? It seems like it takes a long time to communicate with the interface, or I don't know. I guess the interface communicates because it has a green check mark, but it just takes forever to load. I tested it on a Ford vehicle and a Jaguar, but the Jaguar wouldn't communicate, and then we realized that none of the updates had been installed.
Wasn't it a Land Rover?
Oh, that's what I meant, Land Rover. But just the boot up time seemed really slow to me. It almost seemed worse than my Zeus.
Keith said, heck no, way better than Snap-on. Bella!
Yeah, come here.
Snap-on is only good for graphing.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of experience with the other ones. I've done some factory stuff with the J2534 tools, but I don't know. Instead of buying the Zeus, I really should have bought, the Chrysler, Ford, and GM factory tools, and I probably still would have had money to buy other ones because I already have a Pico scope. And as you guys know, I got that other Pico scope used for fairly inexpensive. And I have tested it out and it all seems to be working. Let's see.
You'll find that you have so much more available through Autel.
Now, what do you think about launch? I've had them contact me wanting to, I guess King Bulan or Bolin, wanted me to review some of their stuff. I don't know, I've never used launch, but I assume that it's sort of like Autel.
I referred King Bolin to you, silly. Laughing face.
Oh, Keith did?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was Cody, because Cody just had a video on it. And I saw Diagnosed Dan had it out. I did buy just the code reader, and it was okay. It was a little lacking, I thought, for for a code reader. The oxygen sensor test I didn't find that useful, but I figured for 20 bucks on Amazon, it's something I can throw in one of my spare vehicles.
You don't trust.
What's that?
A vehicle you don't trust.
Yeah, like this vehicle. Actually, if I go anywhere in this one, my Modus is probably going with me.
Yes, launch tools are great, just not the DIY ones.
That's probably what they want me to review. I don't know if it's a DIY one or not. It's the 129E. It's supposed to do ABS and some other stuff, but I would say the guy's name, but it was in Mandarin characters, so I don't know how to read that.
Go ahead, try and pronounce it.
No, someone will find that offensive.
Okay, I referred King Bolin to Dan, Cody, PJ, Ivan, Joe, etc. The whole crew. His name is Young.
Young?
Young.
That's not how it's spelled.
It's just a bunch of characters. I just know how to read it.
Oh, man. Yeah, his instructions were kind of strange, but I got the 129 on the way. I'll check it out. It's supposed to do all kinds of stuff. We'll see what a $300 scan tool will do compared to a Snap-on scan tool. I'm starting to learn that Snap-on is a little overpriced on their diagnostic stuff. You heading out? You're not gonna say goodbye to everyone?
Hi guys.
I actually considered live streaming the differential rebuild on my dad's truck. Oh man, that thing went every direction south you could go. So it's probably a good thing we didn't live stream that.
I even got in a car accident during it, so it just really wouldn't have worked out for it.
No. We pulled the third member out. The spider bearings, or the spider bearings, the spider gears were all chewed up. We probably didn't have a lot of life left in it before it would have crashed or conked out and not gone anywhere. The housing, the axle housing, has always leaked around the spring purchase. And we got it apart, and there was like an 1/8 inch gap on both sides where the housing had cracked. So we had to go pull a whole nother housing and a third member out of another truck. Am I out of view?
Yeah. And he says, we will talk about all that privately. Don't commit to anything with him yet.
Will do. And that's why I was asking if launch was any good, because if it is, then it's probably something I should have anyways. I'm always down for having multiple options for scan tools, because I know that Snap-on won't communicate with everything.
See you guys.
See ya.
Bye.
And I really need to write it down whenever I have issues so I can report it to Snap-on, but I don't know if that goes anywhere either. I had a Nissan vehicle, I can't remember the model, recently that my Zeus would not communicate with, and my Modus would. And the only difference is my Zeus is running 19.2 and the Modus is running 18.2.
Do you think if I I walk through to get Bella some water?
Sure.
I don't know why she's whining against the wall.
I should have had Chase shut the gate so we can let her out.
Come on, give it a drink.
And my comment reader just walked by, so I can't read your comments quite yet.
You thirsty? I think she misses Chase. You like him, huh?
I think she probably just wants to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, he's fine.
Or she just wants to go outside. Yeah, that's right. She normally just goes in here.
Need some water? Here. Get your water. That's what you need, huh? You're just thirsty. Sorry. Now you're gonna have Bella drinking.
That's all right.
Oh yeah, she was really thirsty.
Oh, she probably didn't have any water when we were doing yard work either. My grandma probably had one for the dog.
Yeah.
Okay, a little grease in that one. Then we throw grease in the other one.
Okay, that one's a long one. I'm gonna try and get all the words right.
Uh-oh.
So here is what you should own. One Launchpad Pro, $900. That used Maxis's, $500. A Snap-on Ethos for $1,000. One Pico Scope, $2,200. A Power Probe hook, $250. Harbor Freight test lights, $4 each. And all the spare money you buy, a few additional amp clamps and some training classes.
That's
You're
good. Huh?
Sorry, you're not in front
Oh.
anymore.
Wrong side of the vehicle.
Yeah, I didn't know if you were done on this side.
That is good info, Keith. I've been doing stuff trial and error, mostly error, by repeatedly buying Snap-on scan tools. Mostly because in our area we don't have. I mean, there's always the internet. The internet's everywhere, but we don't have that good of training. We don't have other dealers. Snap-on is one of the only ones. We just got a Cornwall guy. But I do have a Pico. I've got the deluxe kit I bought from Auto Nerds back in 2012. Comes with the low end clamps, the high end clamps, all the leads. Swivel that. And then I just got the second Pico kit from the pawn shop for a few $100, and it's the basic kit, but it did come with an extra low amp clamp. I think total in our shop we probably have 7 or 8 low amp clamps, which is good. Now, one thing I wish Pico would do is make it to where you could hook 2 scopes up to one computer and run more than 4 channels. Now, I rarely need the 4 channels. But it would be nice for very intermittent symptoms to have the ability to scope, every sensor you want on the engine.
You do the group therapy?
I haven't in a long time, and I really don't know. I haven't really been on Auto Nerds for a couple years. I used to be on there actively, and I don't know. I guess I got busy and kind of forgot about it. Okay, let me put my clips back in.
Pico makes an 8-channel,
And automotive?
and Nerds have it for sale.
Huh. I'll have to look into that because when I bought mine, the only 8-channel one was not automotive. It was more of like an electronic board, like 0 to 5 volt inputs, or I think it was probably like a 20 volt max or something. But I always thought that the 8-channel would be nice to have.
I'm not rushing you, but I do have a question. How long does this normally take you?
Not this long, but
But how long does it normally take you?
it's hard to say. Now, if I would have, if it was a customer's vehicle, I would have pulled that back apart to fix it,
Yeah.
to adjust it, and that's where it gets time consuming because it's trial and error.
Um,
How long are we at?
1 hour and 42 minutes.
That's not bad because this probably pays 5 hours.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. No, I haven't looked up a rear end rebuild price in a while since I'm not in the office. But they normally pay pretty well.
I was just curious. Like, I have no idea how long. This job takes about 30 minutes to 3 hours.
Oh, you son of a gun.
Have you ever pinched your finger in there?
No?
In all those like movie grindy gears?
Uh-uh.
Really? Do you know anyone who has?
Uh-uh.
Huh.
I've pinched my fingers other places. I mean, it's an inherently dangerous job. Actually, my dad pinched all of my fingers, both hands, one time. Oh, that was not good.
Sorry. I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah, that was painful. We used to do all the wheel bearings for the local Ford dealership. I'll never understand why a Ford dealership couldn't do their own wheel bearings on a Ford Escape and the Explorers. But we did all of the bearings for them. And we had one really stubborn one. And this was back when I first started, and my dad was doing it, and I was helping him. And we had the hub tamer on it. And I was holding it upright on the bench so that he could run the impact. And as I was holding it, something shifted, and the clamping part clamped down right on my fingernails. And he was still running the impact down. So that wasn't fun. Since then, I try not to to work hand in hand with my dad on vehicles. He's a dangerous guy to be around.
Was he helping you move that futon when you cut your finger?
Moving a sleeper sofa. You're supposed to tie those things shut. We chose not to. We knew that we should have. And we're just moving it from room to room. And it flipped open and tried amputating my fingers off. Luckily, they stayed intact. For some reason, when I went to put the pin in, I was about a 1/4 inch off on my spider gears. So I'm hoping that I just was a tooth off or something.
Says that had to hurt. And he says pivot. Have you seen that episode of Friends?
I don't think so.
They're trying to move a sofa up like a windy staircase. And it's not happening. I think it's Ross is just yelling, pivot, pivot. I'm assuming that's the reference he's making. Funniest episode.
And I think, okay, we're lined up, but my shim fell out. Now, I forget, are you in New York or Philly? Or do you kind of go all over? I know I've seen you guys in Staten Island and stuff like that. So I didn't know if that was an occasional thing or if you make trips through there to fix all the shop stuff in one go.
New York City.
Never been there. I would like to travel the East Coast.
I would love to go see a play on Broadway. Specifically, Wicked.
Don't they have that like on DVD?
No, if they did, I'd be perfectly happy with that.
I suppose.
I have 346 repair shops on Staten Island to service.
Holy cow. There's probably only a dozen repair shops in my town.
Says, come on down. I give people tours all the time. Ooh, I would love to go thrifting in New York City. That would be cool.
You can't. If we go there, we're working with Keith. I'll just get you a rental car and you can drive around.
A rental car is in New York City. You take taxis everywhere?
No, you're going to drive.
Yeah. I could walk everywhere. You'll find out what real food is.
Is that different than like Sonic or McDonald's?
My Taco Bell was pretty good tonight.
We are definitely lacking in the restaurant department where I live. Mm-hmm. It's terrible.
I think our what's the word? Our most popular restaurant is probably Chili's. Especially on the weekend. Thrifting in New York City, it would be tough. Everyone thinks their junk is gold. We have restaurants on almost every corner.
Huh.
We have beggars on almost every corner.
Not on every corner, just on the populated ones. Yeah, we've had a lot more vagrants in the last 5 years. Now, most people contribute to the legalization of marijuana, but I think they've been run out. Actually, I know they have, because Colorado Springs, they passed a law where you can't be standing on a median less than like 4 feet wide or something, which is most of the medians up there. And there's certain parts of towns where you can't loiter at all. So I think a lot of them have moved out of there and moved to our town, of course. Okay, almost done here.
And he says those restaurants aren't chain-based. It's definitely due to legalization.
We had a deli that came to town, and they were from out of town, but they had their business here. It was called Nasha's Deli, and they had really good food, and they lasted a year.
They were expensive, but it was good.
But it's not that expensive. Like, if you go to Wendy's and get a meal, it's $10.
But I mean, for a sandwich, you go to Subway, you can get, what, $6?
I suppose. Okay, I gotta pull the pinion yoke back off and put the seal in.
They cannot function well enough to keep the job when they're high.
No, a lot of them don't work, and a lot of them don't want to work, is what it seems like.
Well, I bet they make decent money out there on the corners. I bet they do.
I should try it sometime.
No, you're too well known. People will be like, is that Chad?
Yeah. That's the other bad thing about living in a small town is everybody knows you. Now the other thing we were talking about the other night with my school, the high school here, is the since the college took it over, they've really excelled, and they have, I forget the term for it, when they get college credit and high school credit at the same time. Our school offers that in automotive, drafting, welding. I think next year the college is taking over all of the vocational programs.
Says we have 500,000 people on this little island. Everyone knows everyone. That's gonna bug me. I can't think of what that word is either. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, I forget what it is, what they call that. But something happened. I quit turning.
Something good or something bad?
Oh, it just bound up when I took the pinion out loose. Oh, don't make me pull it all the way back apart. Come on now. May have to.
Did you know your plates are almost expired?
Those aren't mine, those are...
I know, but do you know they're almost expired?
yeah. Okay.
They're not mine, doesn't matter. Well, the wife just came down and wants to test the metric. Oh, God. Let me read this first in my head and then I'll paraphrase for you. Oh, Lordy. Have an awesome night. Good night, Val, Chad, and Val.
Okay. Thanks for hanging out.
Bye.
Where's my old seal? It's hanging up on the seal.
Still shows that you have a few viewers, but in the world of streaming on Twitch, we call them lurkers. And they watch, but they don't talk.
One sec. Are you gonna read it to me?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Good luck with the moaning. From the diff, of course.
Oh,
Is this what your little chat group's like?
Uh-huh. Almost. So anybody that's still watching, I don't know who you are because you guys aren't commenting. So if you are still watching, go ahead and let us know in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing and making noise and putting this thing together.
Now, question from me.
Uh-huh.
Can I talk to you? Or do you want it just to be car related?
You can talk to me.
Sure.
Uh-huh.
They tell you I leveled my character to 14.
Uh-uh.
I'm 2 away from dungeons. Or 15.
If you're... Yeah, I think 15 is the first one.
I'm almost there.
But you have to complete the storyline to that point.
What level is that?
It's a level 15 storyline, I believe.
Oh, well.
Have you been following the storyline?
Yeah, that's all I've been doing.
Okay. And if you guys are watching and wondering what we're talking about video games now. And right now I am modifying the seal I installed because it has this little extra lip on it that is causing issues. So I just got to flatten it out a little bit and cut one piece off. Oh man.
You know, it's kind of funny though.
Huh.
I was only leveling that character because that's the land.
Uh-huh.
And he found someone else to play with.
On a different land?
I don't know. I kind of felt like it was a little rude.
Yeah.
Like, I've been wasting my time leveling this character. Now, I'm just doing it for me. And I'm going to actually put effort into being the best killer.
So what you can do is you're a white mage or conjurer.
Yeah.
Once you relearn that character, you can come back to our server and do it.
Yeah.
Okay, almost done with this.
What level do I stop wearing that feather hat, though? 15?
Um,
Or 16, once I get to 16?
it might be, like, I can't remember. Some of it is 30
No.
or 25.
I don't think it's that high.
Okie dokie. Yeah, Keith was right. This kit was pretty cheap.
How much was the one that you wanted that wouldn't have gotten here?
The one from Napa that probably would have been all right was like 120. The one from Yukon, I don't remember what it was.
But you're saying if you put a lift? No.
A locker?
A rocker? A locker or a rocker?
Locker.
Is there something called a rocker?
Uh-huh. That's the piece of metal below the doors.
Oh. But if you put that, then this changes anyway?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if I decide to put, I don't know if I'll put a locker in or a limited slip
Back
unit.
in the day, remember I did want an Astro van?
I thought it was a PT Cruiser.
That too.
If anyone's watching, how many people do you know that actually wanted a PT Cruiser?
Me.
Is that because you're the only one watching?
No, there's 3 other people watching.
One is probably still my mom's cell phone.
One's me. One might be Chase. That still leaves one lurker.
Okie dokie. I think that'll work.
Do you think that there's any Nutrigrain bars hidden in those secret drawers?
Probably.
Wow. The chat's pretty slow, so I'm gonna grab one because it's probably the least noisiest snack you have. Oh my. Stay there.
This cover's pretty nasty. Clean that out. Grab a razor blade and scrape that off. Now this differential cover was also leaking. And they didn't use very good silicone because just my brake spray spraying on there real quick has already started to swell it up, and it's coming off of this diff cover. And it is late. I wasn't planning on starting our stream as late as we did, but we were working elsewhere, and we got a lot of work done, so we stayed working, and got started on this late. So anyone that's joining us late and hasn't been here for the whole thing, I know we had a lot of conversation with New Level Auto earlier, but Chevy Astro van I bought to go camping in. Had a bad training when I bought it. Rear end bearings are super noisy. It howls like crazy going down the highway. Or as Keith would say, moaning. Oh man. So we put bearings in it, and I bought the cheap stuff because it's what I could get the quickest, and because we don't know if we're going to leave this rear end in here or not. If we end up outfitting this vehicle for camping and like what it does, and it does what we need it to do, then I'll probably put a limited slip differential in, or even a locking unit in of some sort. I don't think I want to go air locker or electric lock. I'll probably just go with a mechanical style locker, true lock or something like that. But I'm not sure. I don't know how much money I want to put into this van.
All the money. That stuff smelled good.
The brake parts cleaner?
Mm-hmm. Or maybe it's just because I've been smelling that other stuff that makes the brake cleaner smell good.
Yeah, the differential oil does not smell all that good. And a lot of people use the paper gaskets or silicone. I use Power Stroke gray silicone on almost everything because we have a lot fewer leaks.
Because it's gray?
Just the formulation. This is designed special for the oil pan on a certain vehicle that must have had problems sealing. So it works really good. They have since come out with a kind of a generic one called Ultra Gray, but I still don't think it's as good as the Power Stroke Gray. But that little tube that's in there, that cost like double the price of a full-size tube of the other stuff. So it's like 4 times the price. But if it makes it to where the vehicle doesn't come back,
Yeah.
it's worth it. Wipe this off real quick.
So does that also make it harder to take off if you had to get back in there?
Yeah, when not too bad on this style. When I took my dad's apart on his Toyota, it was very difficult. It took about 15 minutes to get it apart. Oops. And normally I would throw this in the hot tank too and get it all cleaned up and nice and neat, but since it's probably coming back off, there's no need.
Is the white toolbox with you guys?
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot he brought that in. Because he didn't have that the first 2 weeks he worked here, and then he brought that in. He said he had it at home. Because the last shop he worked at, they didn't give him that much repair work. So he said that he decided to take some of his tools home. Which I suppose I don't blame him.
Did your old guy come and get his tools?
Yes. He's supposed to be back in town this weekend. In case you wanted to track him down or anything.
Where does he stay at? With in-laws? His old house.
He might be staying with a band member. I think he's getting another load of... He may be gone already.
Hello, new viewers.
Hello. And if you're just joining us, we're almost done. Took a little longer than I planned, but...
2 hours and 10 minutes.
Still not bad.
Not bad. You got 2 viewers in here. 2 more viewers.
We're almost done. Putting the cover on now. I'll let it dry for a little bit, and then I'll put some grease in it, or oil.
Do you put the same stinky one back in, or do you have the grape one?
I don't have the grape. I don't have grape flavored gear oil in stock, so it won't be as stinky as the stuff that came out, but it'll be close. The original bearings were kind of shot. This thing is super noisy going down the road. So
It wasn't even noisy. It was just like
bad.
Like I could feel the noise in my body.
It would resonate through your body and try to make your eardrums explode. The differential was so noisy. There is a little bit of scuffing on the gears, so they may still be noisy. And we didn't get it quite in spec for the gear pattern, but it'll be coming back apart anyways, so I'm not too concerned about it. Noises?
It's still that squeaky noise. Is it a cat meowing?
I don't know. Sounds like a car door opening. So if you guys have any questions, put those in the comments, and my assistant will read them to me, and I'll try to answer them if I can.
You'll try and decipher what I'm trying to say. I felt really stupid with the Arizona thing. I didn't know what Arizona had to do with AAA, but I thought maybe he watched my Dollar Tree. And I think I mentioned I was going on a road trip, but I was thinking, did I tell them I was going to Arizona, or does he just know?
That's what I thought. I'm like, how does he know that we're going to Arizona? We don't know if we're taking this van to Arizona.
Was the black and white from the other day your brother?
Black and white.
Was the black and white from the other day? Oh, was the cat from the other day? I'm reading it word for word and I'm not messing nothing up, so.
I don't think it was a cat meowing from the other day.
The one that. Aw.
But that one was black and white.
Aw. I bet that lady wouldn't notice if I went and just took a cat or two.
Probably not. She's got several.
I'll take some.
I'm going to throw the drive line in. I really should take the groove off of my brake drums. They have a really big ridge on there that makes it extremely difficult to get on here. It probably needs new ones, but it is midnight and there's no parts stores open.
Walmart.
Well, maybe we'll just leave it in the air and let this silicone dry overnight. In the morning, I'll get some new brake parts and we'll put that stuff together because I don't want to have to take that back apart again.
It was limping across the back lot when I came to get the keys.
Oh.
It's a zombie. Unless your dad lied, never took it, and it was back there.
No, Mark took it to the neighbor.
Oh.
I think we'll do that. I think we'll wait on this. They always seal better anyways if you let the silicone set up.
So, can you get... Oh, I guess you're busy in the morning, aren't
Yep.
you? Unless you come down here super early.
I won't have parts.
Yeah, I know. Dang it. Sorry, that just...
So I'll probably go do yard work early in the morning.
Smile.
And then we're going to do yard work super early in the morning. So excited. I can hardly restrain the laughter and excitement.
You're so excited you could puke your pants.
I could puke my pants right now. I'm probably gonna do yard work in the morning. Maybe get some parts for this because I have other arrangements midday tomorrow. Unfortunately, this may not get fixed until after that.
Yeah.
Because I can't drive this to go get parts anyways. I have to go to another town to get a front drive shaft for this, and which would make sense just to leave it in the air.
Mm-hmm.
And also some parts for my tractor. So unfortunately, we'll just leave this in the air.
So when do you think this will be testable to, like, not any crazy roads or anything, but just to go camping in it?
It would be nice if it was ready for that tomorrow.
Okay. Just take the seats out and...
Yeah, we'll just take the seats out and take it for a test run. I mean, I'm still on the fence if this thing can make it 700 miles in 3 weeks for our trip. 700 miles each way, so... And by the time we drive around, that's 1,500 miles. It's untested.
Hank, the diagnostic dog. What's the air pressure in that spare?
It's got air in it, surprisingly. Actually, I was trying to guess what the size was without looking at it, and I was pretty close. Because my dad's truck, we had it on the rack earlier, and he has a 235 spare on his truck, even though he's running 285s. And he's like, oh, I need to get a bigger spare on there. This one is a 155/80/18 dummy spare. So I don't think this is the spare of choice when we go on our trip, because this thing would sit pretty funky with, I think they're almost like a 29-inch tire. This van has a 4-inch lift kit. I think they're a 245/70/16 wheel. So a lot taller than stock for this van and way bigger than this dummy spare.
You can just take one off my 4Runner and put it under there.
No, the bolt pattern's different. So I think we're gonna wrap it up here. If you guys were just joining us, we're done now. I'm waiting on some other parts for in the morning, and we're gonna let the silicone set up overnight, and put it back together in the morning, and hopefully everything's good. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.